Hi guys, Vitek here again. I tried to make my past due video on Dr. Robert Beck blood electrifier, which is past due, I promised few weeks ago. Anyway, I had this tested lately, and for the past couple weeks working fine, no glitches, no problem. This is just a quick look at the updated schematics according to Dr. Robert Beck. It's a pretty simple circuit. It's made on dual operation amplifier LM358. Basically the circuit has three sections. The first one is square wave oscillator with the frequency set by this capacitor, 100 nanofarads. It's configured as a comparator with the hysteresis determined by this resistor 2.4 mega ohm. And charging and discharging of this capacitor is done through this resistor and the voltage divider, 100 kilo ohm, one going to the negative rail, one going to the positive rail. The second part of this dual amplifier, basically what it does, it reverses polarity and provides plus minus 27 volt DC output of the low impedance. There is the part which limits the output current going to the RC jack. It's a 100 kilo ohm linear pot and 820 ohm. This should be adjusted individually. Like, you should not feel any discomfort, any pain while you have the electrodes placed on your wrist. Only a small tingling sensation. Basically, what comes out of this, it's a square wave. But the output is being 180 degree out of phase. So what happened? You were getting around 54 volts biphasic, and sharp rise output of about, I set mine to slightly under 4 pulses per second, which is the half of the earth frequency, which is 7.83 hertz and rising. Anyway, the third part of the circuit, it's current limited output from a separate RC jack. The current limiting is done by there is a 150 ohm resistor, and there is a grain of wheat bulb, 12 volts, 55 milliamp. This ensures that the current going to the electrodes for the colloidal ionic silver is not high. This is very important, so you get a fine colloid, not just chunks of silver in your water. Anyway, that's pretty much all I can say about this circuit. Like I said, it's pretty simple, and it works perfect. Here there is a combination of two limiting diodes. They are 18 volt Zener diodes, and originally by the schematic it's a bicolor LED excuse me, but what you can use, if you don't happen to have one, just use the two different color LEDs instead, and that's also it's current limiting part through this capacitor and going to the output. And so this output is for the probes. The probes, this is just a temporary setup. I have sterling silver wire, which is spaced apart according to the spacing of the veins in my wrist, and it's covered with cotton cloth. And also I have a Velcro thing I got in a sport store, which allows me to fasten to my wrist. The cotton should be soaked in a salt water for better conductivity, and the poles should be adjusted individually. Never apply the electrodes to your bare skin. This will be unpleasant and will create a small burns, like a small craters in your skin, and it takes quite long to heal them after. Of course, you can use the colloidal silver to speed healing, but it's no point of harming. I tried it, and this is just based on my experience. What I did, I pack everything. I put this on a small prototype board. I used the enclosure from the disposable camera. This disposable cameras you can get from some photo processing stores. They might give you a bag of them. They have no use, and they are a source of good components. LEDs, high voltage capacitors. So I've used this, and this is powered by 3 9-volt batteries. I'm waiting for a couple components. I want to make one battery version, but I need a chip to do that. And there is a pot. That's the 100 kilo ohm pot, adjusting the pulse amplitude going to the electrodes, and right here I have two jacks. One is for the blood electrifier, one is for the colloidal silver. Now a quick word about the colloidal silver. This is my makeshift cover for a cup. I cut 2 rings of Elexan and glue them together, and these electrodes are well, about 5 millimeter wide, 4 inches long. They are pure silver, and word of caution, don't use anything. If you doubt the purity, don't use sterling silver. It contains nickel, contains zinc, is not good. If you buy your silver electrodes, make sure you know what you're buying. Anyway, yeah, I see in the back I put some heat shrink wires, and I use the wire and the 3.5 jacks going to my unit. Originally in the circuit, the way this is done, the jack is that once you plug your unit, you cut off the LEDs. Anyway, I left them running, so it might be a little bit blinding, and my favorite combination of blue and red. So anyway, I'm gonna turn the switch, and you see the diodes are going. The LEDs flicker at 1/8 second intervals only when the square wave output reverses polarity, so they don't exactly reflect the frequency. Like I said, the frequency is biphasic, slightly less than 4 Hertz, and you can have a quick look at the scope, and you see the amplitude. It's close to 60 the batteries are fully charged. It's close to 60 volts. So that's the output going to the wristband and the electrodes. I think I'm gonna also try the gel electrodes. There is a company making them, and I see if I can cut them in narrower strips and use them for this device. The electrodes should be good quality metal, silver, gold plated, stainless, good stainless, not a cheap Chinese stainless. Will work. Anyway, when I turn this off, and I have the glass here with, just want to show you quickly how it makes the colloidal silver. The purity of the water is important. I was getting some of the distilled water off the shelf from the store, and I was not too happy. I was not too happy with the purity, and I find I have a better results. I have a deep ground well. I live in the woods, and the quality of the water is much better, and the quality of colloid it's good. This output is permanently hooked up, but unless the electrodes are immersed in the water, there is no current flow, there is no power consumption. And you see here, this is the grain of wheat, a bulb, the current limiter for the electrodes. Now when you see when I short them, you see she's glowing, so she's not letting more current flow through the circuit. Okay, let me cover this. Okay, it's in a room temperature. It takes it's about 7 ounces. It takes about 3 minutes to make between 3 and 5 parts per million solution. I'll try to find the darker background. What about that? Okay, probably you can see right now the ghost, the milky appearance, and the very small bubbles coming off one of the electrodes. If you use good quality distilled water, you may wait longer. You may wait 20 minutes to get the effect. However, I'm quite happy with the quality of colloid using deep well. I know I tested. There is not much minerals. There is no other impurities, and but if there is any slight bacterial problem, the colloid will take care of that. I don't know how good you can see the milky fog. Hard to find the dark background. What is dark here? Yeah, I think you should be able to see it. Well, it's slightly less than I would normally do, but it's just to show. How is it working. When I'm done, I don't scrape the probes. I have a piece of napkin. Usually what I do, I just take a piece of napkin and I clean them, dry them. I don't try to buff them, make them shiny, because this way you remove more silver from the electrodes than it's being removed through that process. And no, that's not a good background either. Okay, what about Okay, maybe you can see it right now. It should be still well before being used. I'm currently trying this on some plants. Anyway, oh yeah, and you use glass, don't use any metal containers, and since it takes a very little time to make, I don't really see a point of storing, but if you do use glass, and this material, it's photosensitive, which means if exposed to a light it will darken. Eventually might turn like very dark, and I would not use this for anything. Once it's done, use it when you need. Make another batch. It won't take long, and it's very cheap. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share about this device. If you have any questions, stop by an Energy Science Forum, Electronic Healing Technologies thread, and see what's going on. Thank you for watching.